Good morning. Thank you for coming today. My name is John Stemberger, and I have the privilege of serving as chairman of YesToMarriage.org for the last 3.5 years. 750,000 people have signed petitions to see that there's a ballot measure to define marriage between the union of a man and a woman. Now, at our last press conference, actually just last week, one of the primary questions that came up is, hey, what's the big deal about gay marriage? You know, why is this such a big thing? And the reality of it is that when you redefine marriage, there really are profound legal, social, and moral consequences that go far beyond what you could really imagine. It's not just about two people living together. Two people have the right to live together already. They have the right to private commitment ceremonies. But when you redefine a fundamental human institution, it has profound impact. And what we want to demonstrate today is some of the legal impact when you redefine marriage. And we're looking really to where this is played out in Massachusetts. And we want to do two things today. We would like to show the impact to both public education and then also the impact to religious liberties. So we have a two-part presentation. And I first want to introduce Rob and Robin Worthland. They are parents from Massachusetts, and they have had a second grade child who was being taught from books that they found very difficult. And they are plaintiffs in a case that actually went all the way to the Massachusetts highest court and were denied cert from the U.S. Supreme Court, and I'll let them simply tell their story. They'll be followed by James Pope, who is a Hillsborough County public school teacher.
Good morning.
Morning. Well, we wanted to talk today about some of the impact of gay marriage upon public schools. When our son was 7 years old in second grade in Lexington, Massachusetts, where gay marriage had been legal for a few years, he came home from school one day and he told us about a book that his teacher had read that was so silly. It was about a prince who didn't marry a princess. He married another prince. We were so surprised.
Shocked.
We thought, second grade, this is such a young age. Can't we wait until the kids are a little older? Can't we wait until they're more complex? You know, in second grade, they're still learning how to sit still and how to raise their hand when they have a question. They don't need to face adult, complex social issues.
And so we contacted the teacher. We wanted to find out what had happened. We thought that maybe even our son had got the details wrong. And the teacher said, no, we did read this book, and she said it's a light book. The theme of the week was weddings, and I wanted to have all of the children get a chance to read these books. The interesting thing was, she said, you know, I chose this book specifically because I thought the boys were tired of reading about flower girls, and this was something that the boys could relate to. Well, we went and checked out the book from the town library, and we were absolutely shocked at what we found. It wasn't just about gay marriage. It was about denigrating other people. It was about making marriage seem very temporary and very transitory. The prince had to choose between all these different suitors and princesses, really, and one was too fat. One wore glasses and had crooked teeth. Another one was black and her arms were too long. You know, these were messages that really disturbed us. And we thought, boy, if this is the message they're teaching our children, we don't want to have any part of it. And then, of course, he finds a prince that he falls in love with and lives happily ever after. So it wasn't just about gay marriage that we were disturbing. It was the way it was being presented. And, in fact, the book wasn't about a choice. It said that gay marriage is probably the preferable choice. Well, the school principal and the teacher really didn't care. They were not at all pleased that that we had some concerns about this. We said, well, you know, this is so young. He is so young. We teach our children to be kind and respectful for anybody, and to not put labels on anyone, but to be kind to everyone. And we don't understand why we're labeling people and doing these things.
We asked the school if they would please notify us before they had teachings about gay marriage so that we could present our point of view. And the school said, no, we will not notify you before we teach this. We will not notify you after we teach this. And you have no right to object to this. Massachusetts has an opt-out statute when matters concerning human sexuality are taught. And we were told that this did not fall under the Massachusetts opt-out statute. We sued. We joined into a federal lawsuit with another family, alleging that our civil rights had been violated, that our rights as parents to know what is being taught in school was violated. And the federal district court ruled against us, and the First Circuit Court ruled against us and said that we have no right to know what is being taught to our children concerning gay marriage in schools, and that we have no right to excuse our children. And our only option would be to homeschool or send our kids to private school.
And these really aren't options for us or for the majority of people I think in Massachusetts or even anywhere else in the country. But I think the real bottom line is when gay marriage is legalized, it really is not just about two people. The social consequences trickle down to the lowest levels of society. And according to the First Circuit Court, and now that the United States Supreme Court has not taken our case, it is law of the land that if parents object to this kind of material, at least in Massachusetts and elsewhere in that circuit, they have no legal right to object. And it's troubling, it's disturbing, and we don't want this to happen to any other family. You know, if we had $1 million to give the campaign, we would, because we don't want anyone to go through this, what we've been through.
Thank y'all for sharing everything. I'm a father first, and I can't imagine going through what they went through. But as a teacher, my job is to teach, not indoctrinate. It's not my responsibility to teach students about personal relationships. That's the role of their parents. Specifically for me, my job is, or what my passion is teaching social studies. And I teach kids about historical social issues and the movements that have shaped our nation. But I don't believe it's my responsibility or the position, as I said, to indoctrinate them about sexual issues that may go against their own consciences or may go against the dictates of their parents' wishes. Specifically addressing this book, the kings that are portrayed in this book were denigrating other groups. You mentioned African Americans or people of dark skin. One person had glasses, one person was obese. That's not the message that we teach in our schools. And it's not a message that we should teach to our youngest children when they're developing those social interaction skills. I'm sure that other teachers around the state do not want to be burdened with the responsibility of indoctrination. They want to stick to education. And education involves presenting the facts or presenting things in a non-biased format. The intent of this book is exactly the opposite. It's indoctrination related to a specific issue, and that is same-sex marriage. Personally, not as a teacher or any other, I am voting for yes on Amendment 2, and I'm encouraging anyone else that is worried about indoctrination to do the same thing.
Great.